My response then is to move my rook up. Now, my original intent of moving my bishop and my king over was to free up the g file. So it may seem odd that instead of moving my rook to g1 here, that I move it up to e3. There's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, I can still move my a rook over to g1 if need be. And also, he's now moved his king off that g file. So now I need to get something on the f file in front of him. So that's the reason I moved my rook up here, because then I can just move it over a square and bam, now it's on the f file, which is the square to be attacking is also being attacked by my knight. So that would create an immediate problem for him if my next move is to put my rook there. So that's the reason for that move. Now he's continuing on with this queenside attack, threatening my pawns. That's not really a concern because his king is an imminent danger here, so I can let him attack and capture all the pieces he wants really, and he's just not going to have enough time to, you know, develop this attack, promote his pawn to queen, do whatever he wants, because I'm already defended down here and his king is being attacked. And this is a good time to bring up another point. Basically, early on in this game, he committed to a queenside attack, or he inadvertently committed to it, and I committed to the kingside attack. Now, all things being equal, what's better? Well, the queenside attack, the only thing that's going to yield is a material advantage, and hopefully, you know, he'll be able to promote a pawn to queen. A kingside attack, well, the advantage there is that I'm going to end the game and mate black. So the rewards there are far in favor of white because I'm going for mate. He's just going for you know, a tactical advantage in material. So it's from the get-go, the fact that I committed to the kingside attack, all things being equal, I'm going to have an advantage. So, and obviously that the fact that I controlled the center of the board, you know, that's two things he has going against him. So it's not looking good for black. He takes the pawn. I don't need to be concerned about that. I can't really take it back, but that's of little concern to me. And we're actually pretty much even in material right now. So I think we were dead even before in material. So now he's up a pawn. Not a big deal at this point. Simple little move here. I could have done a lot of moves. I could have moved either of my rooks over. I could have moved this rook over to f3, or I could have moved my a rook over to g1. But all I had to do is just move my h-pawn up a square. The reason? Because my next move is check. I'm going to take his pawn, check. And then at that point, black's lost. He can't allow that. So that's by far my best move there. Now he couldn't capture it, because if he captured, he would have moved it off. He would have moved his g-pawn off of this rank, and then my queen would immediately come over and mate. So he can't capture that. So all he can really do is retreat. Now his king's running. He's obviously in a bad spot. So I go ahead and take his pawn. Now black's in real trouble. He's got a pawn threat, threatening to promote to queen, which he addresses by blocking that promotion. But now you can see this pawn is still threatening these two squares. I'm threatening his rook. He's got his other rook protecting it. But it's still a pretty bad spot for black here. Fortunately, since black's in such a bind, I can afford to make small little moves like this and reposition my queen. Black's really got nothing he can do at this point. The only thing he can do now is move his king away, which he does. Now I move my queen into an even better position. You can see there's all kinds of threats here going on to black. So now he moves his knight back to protect his f-pawn, which is the mating square. So if he can protect that, he can prevent mate. Now I move my rook over. Now I'm threatening that f-pawn 3 times. So black's in extreme trouble. He can't move this rook over here to f8 because it'll be captured by the pawn. So he's in real trouble. Now this is more of a last ditch effort to do anything he can. he's totally locked up back here around his king. Now he's going to try to move this pawn up, but it can't even promote without being captured, so that does it no good. It does him no good anyways. Now I move my pawn up, or no, I'm sorry, my knight to capture his pawn. He moves his queen. That move doesn't really do much for him. It looks intimidating, but unfortunately my f-pawn is being protected there by my rook, so he can't even put me in check. So that move really did nothing for him. This is a pretty key move. Now I move my knight over here to d6 check. Now that's an interesting move, and that's a key move.